What is going on, guys? I'm checking out a video from Yarn Hub, which I was surprised of how well produced these animations and mini documentaries are. But anyway, these guys are making their own game. I'm absolutely down for it. But anyway, what is it? Leave a like, subscribe, and don't forget to check out Yarn Hub at the at the end of this. Anyway, let's get going.
It's the early morning of the 18th of December 1944, and a column of German tanks is tasked with capturing the Belgian town of Stavelot. SS Obersturmbannführer Joachim Peiper is in his King Tiger. His plan is to rush the bridge, but the Tigers are too slow. He needs fast cavalry.
Bring mir Panther.
He wants
a pair of faster Panther medium tanks pulls up from the line. Their commanders are ready for orders. Peiper has to get through Stavelot and secure the bridges further on if the Battle of the Bulge is going to be successful. He orders...
And the thing about it too is the Tiger tanks are much more bigger, so that's why they move so slow.
The Panthers to charge and take the bridge at full speed.
Panthers charge.
Panthers roar and lurch forward, accelerating down the main road. They turn a corner at high speed, firing wildly across the river. But the Americans are ready. The Germans speed into the crosshairs of an American 57mm anti-tank gun. It fires and strikes the lead Panther towards the rear, damaging its engine and stopping it dead in its tracks. The second Panther races past the smoking wreck. It turns towards the American anti-tank gun and charges. The gunners dive out the way as 45 tons of steel charges into them, smashing the gun. The Panther crew quickly reverse back towards the bridge and speed across, all the while drawing the fire.
I question how quickly did that really happen, because I feel like they probably could have had, I don't know.
The American defenders gathered on the other side. Heading into the main town, the Panther crew roll into the path of a second American anti-tank gun. The German tank commander quickly shouts to his machine gunner, and he instantly spots the threat and rakes the American position with the Panther's machine gun. Under heavy machine gun fire, the American crew managed to get off a shot.
But
even at this close distance, it
let's
misses.
go.
The Germans fire an explosive round at the American gun from point-blank range. The shell streaks over the Americans' heads, deafening them, before slamming into the ground behind them. The Panther tank crew are already charging the position and drive over the anti-tank gun, crushing it. With the American defense crumbling, Peiper...
Come on, guys. You guys, what is it? They should have done their own, DIY, Saving Private Ryan. Make their own sticky grenades. They should have done that. Nah, I'm just kidding. That probably wouldn't have worked.
Orders his King Tigers to roar to life, and one by one, they cross the bridge. They need to capture the American fuel dump. Peiper's mission is to push past Stavelot, but he needs that gasoline. But the Americans...
Dude, I won't lie to you.
Plans.
I am very surprised that these bridges can hold that much amount of weight. It's absolutely phenomenal. When you look at the bridges made today, you're like, bro, these they seem to fall apart out of nothing. But you see these ones, you're like, brother.
The commanding officer of the American forces is Major Paul J. Solis, and he desperately tries to coordinate a defense. But seeing the German heavy tanks crossing, he knows he has to retreat.
All units, evacuate the town.
But Solis is no fool. And in retreat, he makes sure to deprive the Germans of their much-needed gasoline and orders the fuel dump to the north of Stavelot to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Peiper is furious.
Oh, he would have been
needed
pissed.
That American gasoline. In addition, he was hoping reinforcements would have arrived by now. But the company of Tigers commanded by Obersturmführer Jürgen...
You know what's crazy is that I think they should have sabotaged the fuel, really. I mean, I can understand that what if they push them back and then, then they just have sabotage fuel. But knowing that, I don't know, I think I would have sabotaged the fuel. And how? I have no idea. Probably throw water in it and see what happens. I don't know.
The vessel has been held up further south. With the dump to the north destroyed,
probably would have done nothing anyway.
To range to the west in search of more American gasoline. Peiper has his group of King Tigers line up and carry on their advance, leaving Stavelot in search of fuel. His impatience means he leaves the town of Stavelot, defended only by German soldiers. The German soldiers are ordered to wait for more Tigers to arrive.
Honestly, you should have left tanks there too.
Defenses.
Like at least like 2 or 3.
They're digging in when the sound of tanks is heard. But their hope turns to despair as they realize the sound is not Tigers from the south,
It's
but
Sherman
instead
tanks.
coming from the north. On the hill overlooking the town, a column of Shermans, M10s, and infantry arrives, and from the higher ground, they start shelling the German positions in the town. The Germans desperately radio for reinforcements, and the transmission is received by Obersturmführer Jürgen Wessel, who commands the long-awaited company of King Tigers to the south of Stavelot. Wessel tells the soldiers to hold on. He's only hours away.
Unsere Männer brauchen Verstärkung.
Maybach engines roar.
Go faster. It's like, bro, you guys are only going 15 miles an hour. Come on now. It's gonna take you guys more than like an hour or so.
Is still raging. Wessel immediately orders his Tigers to push forward across the bridge, with him in the lead tank. The convoy approaches the bridge, but an M10 on the other side of the river is watching his every move.
How did I not see that Sherman tank?
Fire!
Or where's that?
A shell strikes Wessel's Tiger on the mantlet. The shot detonates the shell within the Tiger's breech, damaging the gun and causing the gun to recoil into the tank,
decommissioned.
slamming the loader in the stomach.
Los, vorwärts, wir sind ungeschützt.
The King Tiger accelerates forward. With multiple streets to choose from, Wessel makes a split-second choice.
Nach links.
But he chooses poorly and has ordered his men straight into the sights of another M10 tank destroyer. It fires its powerful 76mm gun directly onto the Tiger's thick frontal plate. It doesn't penetrate, but the massive force of the hit shakes Wessel to the core.
Zurück, zurück, jetzt.
The thing about it is, like, what can they do? Their guns are
In
disabled.
their haste, the Germans back the 70-ton tank straight through the wall of a house, and the roof comes crashing down. The driver attempts to drive the Tiger out, but the engine dies. Without a gun or an engine, Wessel is quick to order the tank to be abandoned. He and his crew escape the stranded Tiger II before more shots can find their mark. They race back towards the bridge and find only 3 German tanks. The rest have already backed up behind cover and across the bridge.
PAK auf den Straßen. Schalt sie auf. Jawohl.
Wessel sends the second King Tiger out to the American anti-tank defenses, while he goes to a third and commandeers it. Meanwhile, to the west, Piper is being held up by an American defense. A much-needed bridge is destroyed by a small group of engineers from an American garrison. He's devastated. Days of delay and fighting have been added to the operation in front of his very eyes.
Dude, that stare is literally Mario Kart Luigi angry stare.
Verdammte Pioniere.
But it gets worse. He gets word that Stavelot is under attack and orders Sturmbannführer Gustav Nittel to take his battalion and turn back towards Stavelot.
Yeah, now they gotta go
back
back.
in Stavelot, Wessel's hold over the bridge is tenuous, and he needs to get the rest of his tanks across. As they roll across the bridge, a terrifying sound is heard.
AC-130s.
It's American planes.
Oh.
The tank commander's eyes look skyward as a pair of P-47
they're
fighters
gonna try to destroy the
drop
bridge
through the clouds. The planes dive towards the bridge as the King Tigers are about to cross. They try to hurry, but are caught in the open. The American aircraft fire rockets at the column. Men dive for cover as explosions fall all around the front of the convoy. The Thunderbolts disappear as quickly as they arrived, leaving carnage behind them.
One line, who they have to take, what is it, do those cinematic shots? Delicious.
With their biggest guns stuck behind the damaged tanks, German infantry are now without
and they're
heavy
being
support
pushed behind
and get pushed back house by house. Any cover is annihilated by the American Sherman's main cannons. Meanwhile, the mighty King Tigers left doing little more than firing from the sidelines as their commanders see their men destroyed in the narrow streets. What's left of the battered German soldiers make their way across the bridge to the south of the river, leaving Stavelot in American hands.
Now they're completely screwed.
With the sun falling under the horizon, the bridge becomes no man's land. Under the cover of dark, both armies prepare. M10s and Shermans take ambush positions, while the German panzer crews rush to fix the 2 disabled King Tigers, blocking the way. They successfully remove bent road wheels jamming the system, and the wounded Tigers are back on the move, albeit limping. Taking advantage of the extremely heavy fog, the wounded Tigers move forward and escape past the Americans to the west. On the south side of the river, commandos from the German special unit Stielau are dressed in American uniforms in an attempt to fool the Allies. A column of them are ordered to ride captured American jeeps and head to Stavelo. They've been pretending to be American troops to catch the enemy by surprise as part of the Battle of the Bulge. Arriving at the bridge, they hope their disguise will get them across. The men sit with their hearts in their mouths. They make it halfway across the bridge. Their objective is within sight. But the Americans are wise to their deception, and the thunder of machine guns rips.
The thing about it is that they would have been probably would have been instructed that a jeep would be patrolling through there,
night, destroying the entire column.
Yep.
The Tigers that have been in the south now advance.
Because it's like, why would a jeep just arrive, especially if they weren't told or anything like that? Like, it doesn't make any sort of sense. Could that happen? Sure. But I think there's definitely a lot of communication. So if they didn't know that there would have been a patrol or anything like that, there you go.
The first Tiger, number 222, braves the open ground from the south of the river. An M10 tank destroyer crew across the river see it emerge and aim square at its flank. The 76mm main gun fires and the shell streaks across the river. My name is David Webb and I'm the narrator and head of Yarn Hub. If you
wait, hold on, buddy. I didn't know he was Battle of the Bulge as well.
Think our films are important and you'd like to see us move into gaming,
brother, like this man somehow in some way stopped the whole round, which is his hand. This guy's Magneto. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Then until June, you can invest in us and become a shareholder in Yarn Hub. Click the link in the description to find out more. And slams into the Tiger's hull, right above the tracks.
I am interested in this.
Tiger 222 comes to an immediate halt. The M10 follows up with a second shot that rips off the frontal plate, and then a third that punches clean through the side armor once again. The German crew throw out a smoke grenade and escape through the fog of war. The instant defeat of the lead Tiger kills the momentum of the southern attack.
Yeah, there it is.
On the northwest, Nittel's armor and infantry push towards the American positions through heavy artillery fire. Explosions rock the earth, which are shrugged off by the Tigers, but devastating the exposed infantry. But they're still pushing the Americans back through Stavelo and threaten to reach the bridge. The Allied commanders realize they might not be able to hold the bridge, so they do the next best thing. A team of US engineers are deployed from the reserve. They race to the riverbank on a jeep covered by lines of machine gunners and anti-tank weapons, all the while exchanging fire with the Germans on the other side. Acting fast, they get under the bridge and rig it up to explode with 1,000 pounds of explosives. All the while, bullets and shells whizzing over their heads. Then, they quickly light the fuse and retreat. The explosion resonates throughout the battlefield. For the German leadership, it drowns out every other communication. It's done.
Yep.
Further west,
now they can't cross
Piper
no more.
is already 3 towns away, hugging the river.
Bro, Piper's still going on. How's them? They have insane fuel reserve.
In search of gasoline. His tanks are almost out of fuel and in desperate need of a resupply. Then he gets the news. Piper
He's
looks
like,
furious.
no, I must go back.
Mit allem angreifen, überquert den Fluss oder sterbt bei dem Versuch.
On the early morning of December the 20th, hundreds of SS troops descend into the river.
This is what happens when we have an irrational commander.
When suddenly, Allied heavy artillery falls upon them. The few survivors that make it out on the other side of the river are cut down.
They didn't want to animate all those explosions, so they're like, let's just say there was a barrage. I get you. I get it. I wouldn't do it too.
On the west flank, the Americans are pushed back by Nittel's forces, but the Germans suffer withering fire, and the cost is paid by the German infantry. A King Tiger number 133 is caught by an M10 tank destroyer, and it fires its 76mm cannon into the Tiger's heavy armor, its massive impact going through the fighting compartment.
Feuer! Feuer!
The M10 pulls back just in time before the Tiger's massive shell flies past in front of them. The American crew quickly radio the location of the German tank. 3 Shermans answer the call and close in on the position of the King Tiger. The German crew advance towards the M10 when the first Sherman appears from a side street.
And bam.
But they have no time to react.
No,
The Sherman
can't.
fires into its turret. The shell ricochets with devastating force. Moments later, another Sherman emerges and fires a second shot into the hull of the Tiger, the impact being absorbed by its heavy armor. The King Tiger swings its turret towards the targets, but the Shermans reverse into cover before they can get the shot. The heavy tank is too slow and unwieldy to respond. The commander knows he's in deep trouble. His armor matters for little if he can't hit back. A shell streaks across the battlefield and strikes the Tiger right between the turret and the hull. The round pushes the 2 plates apart, squeezing through the turret ring and into the fighting compartment. The radio operator is killed, and it damages the transmission. But the tank
they're screwed.
still
They're
move.
isolated.
Damaged, the Tiger flees from the Shermans. Heading out of town at full speed and leaking hydraulic fluid, the crew are confounded as one of the tracks jams. Unable to steer, the crew are forced to abandon the tank in a ditch by the side of the road. The king has fallen. The advance from the west stalls, and the rest of the Tigers are wary of meeting the same fate. The German effort has totally crumbled.
Yeah,
Nittel
they
is left
completely
with only
lost.
one choice, which is to order a full retreat. West of
and that
Stevelo,
dude's.
Piper and his men
Can you imagine what Piper must have felt? He must have been pissed.
have run out of fuel.
Even more angry.
And with allies closing in, they're forced to abandon their tanks to escape on foot. Their mission is a total failure.
Verdammte Pioniere!
Joachim
Damn
Piper
those
survived
engineers.
the war. Despite his active participation in many atrocities, he only served 12 years in prison.
Did you hear? One of our superior Tigers defeated over 40 Soviet tanks. The Soviets said it never happened. Well, who do you believe? Watch this film and let us know.
I am very interested in that. What is it? Knowing that. Did one Tiger beat 50 tanks? I mean, it sounds fantasy, but I mean, there's literally what's that girl called? Like the black, what was it? What was it called? What was she called again? The White Lotus or something like that, for the Russians. I mean, there's her that exists, and she has a crazy backstory. I want to know if they ever did an animated version of her, because her story is very fascinating as a what was she? She was a Russian sniper, right? Very fascinating the way how she is. But let's see this at the end, and it's just Patreon. Okay, I like it. Okay, alrighty. Well, thank you so much for watching. Check out Check out Yarn Hub. Not exactly the name I would pick, but you know. What is it? Check out Yarn Hub. You know, they're as you can see, they're clearly amazing. I'm pretty sure I've seen their works before, but like in shorts form and things like that, in the past, because some of it does look really pretty familiar. But anyway, check out Yarn Hub. You know, check them out. Subscribe. Watch their other content, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. Check out the Discord and check out the Twitch. I try to be live every day, and hope you guys have a good one. Peace.